Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for March 4th, 2018. Gotta love the fact I can never remember the date on Sunday. So, I read more this week than I did in the last week, which is good because, I mean, overtime wasn't quite so bad this week, so that's great. I did do a lot of audiobooks. I'll just put them up here really quick. I finished Rock Addiction, which is the first in the Rock Kiss series by Sigh, and then I went on to Rock Courtship, which is kind of a novella. And then I listened to Rock Redemption, which is book 3. So I was trying to get through this series so that I could get to the one that I have not read yet. But I don't know if I'm going to listen to this. So Rock Wedding is the very last one, and I started it in my car this morning, and I'm not sure. The plot is not one calling to me that I want to listen to, or even read. I have it here on my Kindle as well, so I could do either or. And it's the only one I haven't read of that rock band that this follows. Again, it's a contemporary romance, and most of them are about this rock band. This was not the story I really liked. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get through this one. I really want to read the book that comes after this that's technically a prequel for another part of the series. But I don't know. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, I did listen to a lot of audiobooks, as I said, during work and driving around and stuff this week. I had to go to a conference or a seminar this week, so I had to drive all the way across town, and then the commute back was horribly long. So I got a lot done audiobook wise. So I'm going to continue on that maybe. We'll see how I feel tomorrow when I get back into my car. I also should be getting Born by Jeff Vandermeer. From the library here this week. It said that shipped to my location, so I'm hoping like by Monday or Tuesday I can go pick that up. And that again is one for the science fiction category on the BookTube SFF Awards. So I've been waiting for the audiobook to come through. So once the audio CDs are here, I'll probably put that in my car and listen to that instead. But I might listen to Rock Wedding in the meantime. I'm not sure. We'll see. So those are the audiobooks. Okay, so let's get to the books that I read physically. So last Sunday I read Dear Ijoeli, or A Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I liked this book much better than We Should All Be Feminists. I think this argument was much stronger. I think the examples were much better or clearer. I think overall this book was much better put together. Again, that one was from a TED Talk, so it sounds like a speech. This one was much better because the arguments were laid out much better. I still think there were some weak points and some ones I'm like, I don't know about that one. But overall, I think this was much better. And I have a couple of things I want to write down before I give this back to the library. So some quotes, because I thought they were really good. So anyway, I really like this. I do have one of her fiction novels, Purple Hibiscus, on my Kindle that I picked up on a daily deal at some point. So I do want to try her fiction now that I've read both of her feminist books. But I'm kind of interested to see how her fiction is. So we'll see how that goes. But not right away. But anyway, I did enjoy that, and I'm glad I read that. The other book I finished this week is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. This was on my February TBR. I've been meaning to read this for a couple of months since I got it. I heard it was crazy wild, and it was. This is the ultimate beach read to me because it was a book I could read and then put down without any problem of jumping right back into where I was at. The chapters are short. The narration, well, not the narrations, the POVs kind of switched a little bit in places I didn't really like, but mostly the chapters were from usually one point of view. Just once in a while it'd be switched and I'd be like, why are we getting her perspective for like a paragraph? It was weird. But I've read enough books that I get over that. It's not my favorite way to do narrative and stuff in POVs. But overall, I thought this book was just crazy wild and insane. I rooted for the 3 characters that I believe were the main characters. They are the ones I was, most concerned about, and they were the ones who made me finish this book. Now, all the other characters, not all the other characters, but a lot of the other characters, I hated. And I hated their prejudices and their rudeness and their backstabbing, and they were just cruel. And I know that's probably part of it. It's like, that's the whole point. But it was so hard to read sometimes because you just felt for the main characters. And I think, overall, I think it was a good book. I did stall out about 120 pages from the end of the book. I just wasn't sure I was going to be able to pick this up again. I wasn't sure it was worth it. And I decided to go ahead and try it, and I got back into it. And the end did, redeem itself in the end, I guess. It made me like this, but I still am, probably never going to pick up the other 2 books to this series. I do own them. I got them at library book sales, so I did not pay too much for them, so I don't feel too bad that I'll get rid of them. But this is not a series for me. I'm not huge on contemporary all the time anyway, but these people were crazy and rude, and I'll go with that. And again, I think that's totally the point, but that doesn't mean I enjoy reading about that stuff. Does that make sense? Anyway, I think it was I think if you want a fun, quick read though, I think it really is. I mean, I read pages so fast in this book. I mean, it was page turning for most of it. I stalled out, and I think that's where part of my problem is. I did start right after that, The Armored Saint by Mike Cole. This is a fantasy series. It's gonna be like 3 short novels. I'm on the fence on this one too. So I started this I think on Tuesday, and I got into it, but I was like, well, this isn't really going the way I thought it was going to go. And then Wednesday, this isn't going the way I thought it was going to go. So I put it down for a little while, and then I tried to pick it up again yesterday. And yeah, this does not go any way that I want it to go. It follows Heloise, I think that's how you say her name. Anyway, she's a 16-year-old from this village, and some bad things happen to a neighboring village that also affects her village. And there are the Order, who are kind of the Emperor's guys who go out and are supposed to be taking care of things on the land and stuff, or making sure that wizards do not exist, magic is bad. And I don't know, it was really weird because the beginning was a lot slower than I would think for a short book, and it really was. And then it just didn't go the way I would want it to. So I'm not blaming the author. I'm not saying the book is bad. I'm saying it might not be for me. So I got to 165 pages, and I found myself skimming, and that is bad. And again, the book is only 205 pages. So I put the book down last night, and I go, okay, I'll give it a break, and I'll come back to it maybe. I don't know, there's something, I just think it might be my writer brain interfering, thinking that's not the way I would have done that. But it's not my story. So I shouldn't have that problem, but I do have that problem. And I'm having trouble with this. So we'll see if it happens. I'm hoping to go back and actually finish it, but at this point, I just don't want to read 40 pages. I can't get myself to read the 40 pages. Because again, I started to skim. And when I start to skim, that is a bad sign, and I put a book down. Because that usually means that I'm looking for something that'll make me want to keep reading, and then I'll go back and reread what I skimmed. And again, I used to do that as a kid all the time. So when I do that now as an adult, I recognize I'm doing that and I stop it. Because that's usually a time to either DNF a book or at least give it a break. So I'm going to give this book a break. So instead I picked up Survivors Will Be Shot Again by Bill Kreider. This is book 23 in the Dan Rhodes mystery series. Again, my favorite series of all time for mysteries. Love this series. And since Bill Kreider just recently died, I'm so sad because he was a wonderful person. And I just wanted, I have this book and one more beyond it, and I'm going to cherish them. So then I'm going to probably reread the series. But this is number 23, so I picked this up last night and immediately fell right into it. So again, I just love his writing, and I love this place. It's a small Texas county that he's the sheriff. And always there's somebody who dies, and he has to figure out who does it. And he does it in such a quiet, strong way. I just love this character. And he's one of my favorite mystery characters, because as the books, he gets older as the books go on, and he talks about all his aches and pains and how he tries not to get into trouble, but he always gets into some trouble and gets himself hurt. And because it's not super action. They're nice. I would call these cozies in a lot of ways, except again, it's a police procedural as well. So it's kind of hard for me to say, but it's a small town, a small county. I just really like those. Anyway, so I'm really enjoying that reading. Let's see. So the other book that I'm reading right now is The House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielowski. This is a buddy read that's going on mostly through Twitter. So I'll have that link down below if you want to, for the hashtag. And Julie at Pages and Pens is doing this with a few other people, and I'm just kind of tagging on because technically this is a reread for me. This book is about a film within a book within a book, kind of how this works. And a lot of notes and a lot of appendixes and exhibits and things. It's just, and it goes all over the place. It's a really weird book, a lot of different text things, and there's some pages with like nothing or a little bit, and it's just very strange. Anyway, I read this book when it first came out. So here's a little trivia for you. If you guys, especially if you guys listen to a lot of 90s music, Mark's sister is Poe, the musical artist. So she had a couple albums out in the 90s, and I think it's her second album, but one of her albums is called Haunted, and it came out around 2000 when this book came out, and it's heavily influenced by this book. She wrote a lot of songs and a lot of things that go along, that she uses terms that are in this book in the music. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, it's one of my favorite albums anyway of all time, but the fact that it's connected to this book is just even better. Anyway, so we're doing the reread for the first, I'm doing the reread. They're doing their first read. So it's the read along is for the first 2 weeks of March. So I'm really enjoying this. So far, like I said, I've only read a few of the 3 days worth of stuff, and then I'll read my stuff today, and then we'll go on. But it's just awesome. I'm really enjoying my reread. I mean, again, I read it 17 years ago, and I still clear as a bell some of the things. They go, oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, I remember that. And I'm still picking up stuff that I don't remember because it's been so long, but it's just been great. So the only other things that I'm also in the middle of is still On the Map by Simon Garfield. I'm hoping to pick up this nonfiction book about maps again starting this week. My overtime has just been insane, so this is one thing that I dropped because I was reading a little bit every day. So I want to get back to where I read a chapter a day, but we'll see. It might be this week, it might be next week. My overtime is probably going to last through this week, but we'll see. If it gets where I can read some at home, I will. So then I'm just going to go on with what I plan to kind of read in the next coming week. So as I said, House of Leaves is going to be huge. On the Map, if I have chance. I would like to pick up this week Monstrous Volume 2, The Blood. It's the next, it's number 2. So it's the one on the BookTube SFF shortlist for the graphic novels. This is the last one I was going to try for that category. I did read Monstrous last year and enjoyed it. I read it for the BookTube SFF Awards. So I want to read this and get that done. So then all the graphic novel, then I don't have to worry about that. Then I just have novels to read for the next couple months. I'm a little behind on that. So I don't know what I'm going to read after I finish Survivors Will Be Shot again. I'm hoping to read a lot of that today. So I'm hoping in the next day or so I'm going to pick up one of these other of the mystery books that I planned to on my March Madness TBR. March Mystery Madness. So maybe one of these books. I mean, they're all different genres, but all mysteries. And I'm hoping to pick up one of those pretty soon. I'm not sure which one. Anyway, so that is it. That is my update. Hey, how are you guys doing? How's your reading doing? Are you guys having any trouble? God, I'm tired of getting in the middle of books and just not liking them. So I'm hoping I'm going to break this cycle because Bill Kreider's my favorite. So I'm sure he's going to be great. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.